Hey everyone, welcome to the KE Report and a company update from Kenorland Minerals. We're going to be talking about a couple of fairly significant drill programs that have just started up on the company's projects, or more or less assets within the company's portfolio. The Maiden drill program at the South Uchi Project, that's in the Red Lake District of Ontario, and drill program, more drilling at the Frotet Project in Quebec. I am chatting with Zach Flood, CEO and President of Kenorland Minerals. Kenorland is traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol KLD, on the OTCQX under the symbol KLDCF, and the Frankfurt Exchange 3WQ0. Now, Zach, look, a couple big drill programs for us to talk about. Let's start off with the most recently announced one. It came out just yesterday, February 12th, the Maiden drill program at the South Uchi Project. Now, this project has Auranova Resources earning in. That is a private company. The earn-in agreement was signed at the very beginning of December 2024, so really just a couple months ago. And the company had to spend $8 million in qualifying expenditures to earn in a 51% interest, as well as make some cash payments and keep Kenorland at a certain common share level for Auranova. The company's already going to be drilling $8 million this year, so they're coming out fast. Talk to us again about this South Uchi project and the $8 million, what the plans are for that drilling this year, please.
Yeah, definitely. So South Uchi is in the Red Lake Mining District of Ontario. It's about 80 kilometers to the east of Great Bear, which I'm sure everyone's familiar with. The Dixie discovery was a bit of a shocker for the whole industry, I think, because it was, is in this Confederation Lake volcanic assemblage, which wasn't your typical host for, in terms of Red Lake style gold mineralization. And here we are about 80 kilometers to the west of Dixie in the same package of rocks. After almost 4 years now of systematic exploration, we have identified and honed in on a large footprint gold target with really exciting complex geology and no real exploration history in the target area and no previous mineral occurrences in the database. So this is really as good of a setup as it gets in terms of potential discovery. We're super excited about it. But Auranova, which is a private company, came in super strong in terms of this initial maiden drill program where they're funding $8 million, which will include up to 15,000 meters of drilling on the first pass program. The design of the program is very systematic. We're drilling a number of long fences across the target area to get a sense for, what the geology is like and hopefully hitting some of these gold-bearing structures that, a lot of the rocks here are concealed by either swamp or glacial till or lake. So this is exactly the style of program you'd, hope for on a large maiden program.
Yeah, it really is. This is a large program for it to be the Maiden program. And one thing that stands out to me is it's really focused on one target. Now, there are 3 target areas within this one target, but this Papaonga target, this is the focus. So give us some more information on the work you've done to build up this target and why you're really focusing all of this work just on this one target here.
Yeah, well, it's a really big target area. Like you mentioned, it's about 6 kilometers of strike, and there's various components within that in terms of both the geology, the structure, and even the geochemical expression. We honed in on this, again, like I said, after multiple years of systematic exploration across the property. When you look at the project scale data, it's quite obvious where the large footprint gold system might be. Because we've covered this project with glacial till sampling, geochemical sampling, both at the regional scale and on a more detailed scale. And we also followed up with gold grain sampling, even on a regional scale too. You can see that this area sticks out. And then, on top of that, the prospecting that's been done property-wide too has also indicated this is where the fluids are. These are where the gold-bearing, this is where the gold-bearing fluids and structures are kind of coalescing. So yeah, in terms of the actual geology within the target area itself, it's, like I said, pretty complex. There's a big intrusive out to the west, and then that transitions into the sediments, and then volcanics beyond that. And within the sediments, there's iron formations, and everything's folded and sheared. So it's really complex, and you like to see complex geology when you're looking for gold.
How deep are these holes going to have to go just to get under the cover broadly?
Well, the cover's not super deep itself, but it just, there's a veneer of till that masks a lot of the bedrock. And then, of course, there's the Papanga Lake, which we're drilling across too. So it is a land and ice program, which is why we're drilling in the middle of winter here. But yeah, these holes are about 500 meters deep each. The individual fences are anywhere from a couple holes to 6 different holes or 6 holes long, covering a couple kilometers across the target area. The fences themselves are about 500 or 600 meters spaced apart from each other. So it's still pretty wide spaced drilling for a first pass program. But like I said, you need a lot of meters to test a target area this big, over 6 kilometers to strike for the first time. And we're not working with any other historical drilling in the area because there's been none completed here. This is a grassroots target.
That's something I find so interesting too, because you look at figure 3. First of all, this is a large project and it's surrounded by other well-known assets and quite close to that Great Bear project. As you mentioned, why hasn't there been any other drilling on this project? And also talk to us about the opportunity on the full project outside of this Papanga target.
Yeah, well, it's a question we always ask ourselves, why hasn't this been found before? When we found Renault in the Frotet Evans Greenstone Belt, a lot of the people who have explored up there couldn't really believe it. Like we found something brand new, no gold occurrences had been there, no drill holes into that system. And it was a couple kilometers off of the Route du Nord, which is the main road that goes up into the James Bay area, and there's a past producing mine in that belt too, right? So I think it's just, in that case, no one had done a big systematic geochem survey across the entire belt. So they didn't pick up on that dispersion plume, which is like the glaciers had scraped and deposited the gold down ice when there was ice sheets covering everything, 10,000 years ago. No one had done that style of survey that led us onto that. And I think this is the same exact case here. It's just, no one's done the large scale geochem surveys in the belt. And when we did it, we picked up on it. It was quite subtle on the first pass program, but then once we started doing more detailed surveys, it became quite obvious that there was something significant here. The area also hasn't been logged historically, and I think that plays into it as well. Typically where you have logging road access, the prospectors will get in there and be banging around more on the rocks. So yeah, that plays into it too. But yeah, it's a great thing to find, potentially a new system in an area as prolific as the Red Lake mining district, and obviously there's still discovery potential as we saw at Great Bear there, how that unfolded in modern times.
Oh, I think we all still remember that Great Bear story and the success that investors had from that discovery and then subsequent company sale. One other point we should mention for this drill program is that you are the operator. You will be taking a management fee. Does that then mean that you will be able to control the news flow, release the news, the results as they come in?
Yeah, we are manager of the operator of the project. We do collect a management fee on the total exploration budget, and I suspect, we'll be putting results out, along with Auranova, as they come in.
All right, let's move over to the other drill program then. January 30th, the announcement that the company commences a 2025 winter drill program at the Frotet Project. This is, again, all around that Renault discovery. Sumitomo Metal Mining Canada owns this project, and you had converted your share of this project into a 4% net smelter return royalty. It's a 23,000 meter program for this winter program. Explain to us the goals around, further defining this Renault gold system.
Yeah, a lot of the drilling there is allocated to more resource definition style infill drilling. However, there is still, a significant number of meters that are going to be stepping out on some of the known veins and then even drilling a bit deeper into areas that we have basically no information on. So that's pretty typical in terms of all the programs that we've designed and carried out there. I think the main goal of this program was to increase the drill density to accommodate a potentially a maiden resource estimate, which could come out maybe the end of this year or next year, depending on what Sumitomo wants to do. Again, it's really up to them on the timing of releasing a maiden resource estimate. But that is, the idea behind the drilling that we're carrying out this winter is to infill a lot of that to minimum 50 to 100 meter spacing, so we can start to look at what an inferred resource might be. Still early days there, though. A lot of the veins, a lot of the drilling still wide open in multiple directions, so certainly the system's not closed off, and every time we do drill there, we seem to increase the footprint or find additional veins. I think that's one thing everyone should keep in the back of their minds, is that it's pretty early days in terms of the discovery process there.
Okay. Hey, there has been quite a bit of drilling already done here. How much drilling was just done last year on this gold system?
Similar number of meters, I think around 24,000 meters or so, I think, in total.
Okay. So it does sound like at least Sumitomo Metal Mining Canada is moving somewhat towards a resource, but again, a lot of these larger companies can just do these things internally too. But a lot of drilling happening at the Frotet Project. What else is going on with the company here, Zach? The company still holds a wide portfolio of projects with a number of other well-known option partners and companies earning in, like Centerra, like Newmont. What else can we expect from the Kenorland Minerals portfolio this year?
Yeah, we're going to be drilling. Well, we'll be announcing a few other drill programs this quarter as well that everyone can look forward to. So I think down at Hunter, we're going to have a maiden drill program that Centerra is funding. That's in the southern Abitibi. Shabistawan up in the northern Abitibi, Newmont funding there. And then later in the year, there's going to be additional drill programs as well. But yeah, 4 programs kicking off kind of winter, spring. A lot of this is early stage, some maiden programs going down, which is always very exciting.
What about what Kenorland you guys are doing in terms of your own generative portfolio?
Yeah, last year we did put out results on a huge amount of ground that we screened for the first time in Northwestern Ontario. There was a couple big regional gold anomalies that came out of that. So we're excited to get back on the ground this summer and follow up there. This summer, there's also going to be some very large-scale surveys completed up in the James Bay region on ground that we own 100% of, and a few other projects in the portfolio too. We'll see some additional systematic geochem surveys on those. So yeah, we've really scaled it up. A lot of these projects are funded and partnered up. We got a huge budget this year. I think in total we're operating around 36 million. About 30 of that's coming from third parties. So you can expect a lot of action on the ground, a lot of news flow, a lot of results kind of coming out throughout the year. And Kenorland's in a great position financially as well. We got about 25 million, I think, in the bank. We're going to draw down on about 6 of that in terms of exploration. Our overheads are generally covered by the cash inflows through the management fees and cash payments and et cetera. So I think end of the year, we're still poised to have about $19 million in the treasury.
Perfect. That's what I was going to ask you to wrap it up. Zach, great chatting with you. I'm sure we'll be talking a fair bit to cover these ongoing drill programs and all the ones about to start. Again, Zach Flood, President and CEO of Kenorland Minerals. Click that link in the show notes to read over a lot of the recent press releases that we talked about and learn more about the company's portfolio of projects. Thanks for the update today, Zach.
Appreciate it, Corey.